Hey guys, this is Palmer from TYT Yugioh, and today we're going to be profiling my Thestalos Turbo Domain Monarch deck profile. So I've changed the camera angle up a bit. If you guys like it, please tell me and we'll keep it this way, but if you don't, we're going to switch it back to the old way. So let's get right into this deck profile. First off, we're playing 3 Aether and 3 Erebus. So these are your engine monarchs. They're obviously the best monarchs to play because they send spells and traps to the graveyard. And also, they have probably the best effect because you can tribute on your opponent's turn, or you can spin cards that doesn't target. So you can send Pantheism to search or Prime or whatever you need to send to just either get access to it or just to use. These are the best monarchs, and we're playing 3 of each because it's the domain version, and a lot of the extra deck versions are cutting down to 2 Erebus. But yeah, these are the best monarchs to play, obviously, so we're maxing out on those. Next up is a triple Mega Thestalos. So this is like the name of the deck. So what Mega Thestalos does is it has the same Mega Monarch effect as all the other Mega Monarchs. You can tribute 1 tribute summoned monster or 2 non-tribute summoned monsters. So what its effect is, you can look into your opponent's hand and rip a card from it. So discard a card from your opponent's hand. And if it was a monster card, you get burned for 200 times its level. So if you discard a Burning Abyss card, they get burned for 600. Or whatever. You can discard anything as well. So a lot of times I'll rip Twin Twister with this card so that I can set it up with Domain so they have a hard time outing it. Also, if you tribute summon a fire type monster, they get burned for an extra 1,000 no matter what the card is. So yeah, this card is like the name of the deck. You want to try to resolve one of these and an Erebus on the first turn, so they're playing with 4 cards. And if possible, set up an escalation so you can rip another card out of their hand. Overall, this card's really good, and it's a really fun way to play the Monarch deck, in my opinion. We're playing Domain, which is definitely the weaker version between Extra Deck and Domain, but to play the Thestalos Turbo, in my opinion, you have to be playing Domain, just because it's a little bit more like conditional to resolve the combo. And yeah, I think overall, this is one of the best way, one of the funnest ways to play Monarchs. So yeah, triple Mega Thestalos, and then 1 Kuraz for the last of the tribute summoned cards. We are playing Red Layer, but I don't really count that as a tribute summon monster. But what Kuraz does, obviously, you pop 2 cards, up to 2 cards on the field, and then people's cards that got popped, they get to draw 1 or 2, depending on how many you pop each. So, yeah. I'm only playing 1 because it's Domain Monarch, so you never have to pop your own return. And this just outs random cards. A lot of times I'll summon it with Aether on their turn just to pop this and another like useless card on my field just to draw 2. But yeah, overall this card's pretty good. I'm only playing 1 though. I never really want to draw it. Next up we're playing 3 Red Layer. So I'm not playing any blue layers or e-tellies because I don't like those cards that much because I find myself drawing Red Layer or like not being able to resolve an e-telly because I need to make sure that Kuraz doesn't miss timing when I tribute for Aether. Because if you tribute the blue layer, you can't use Kuraz and blue layer. You can only pick one of them. And the cards die a lot to max C. This is just like a generic Cyber Dragon that I can always add back. Plus, it's a fire type monster. So when you tribute for Thestalos, they get burned for 1,000. Overall, this card's really powerful, and I really enjoy playing it. Next up, we're playing 1 Idea and 1 Eidos. So I'm also playing triple Mithra. But the reason why I'm playing 1 Idea and 1 Eidos is just there's 2 other cards I can have in my hand that allows me to tribute summon, essentially. This is only really good when you still have Eidos in deck when you draw this card. But both of them are still really powerful. And also this is good with a Foolish Burial, so you can just add back a Pantheism or whatever to your hand. But we're playing 1 Eidos is also pretty important because you can summon back a Mithra and then tribute twice. But yeah, overall, these cards are pretty subpar because they get Veilered a lot. But I still recommend playing at least 1 of each, just because it allows you to have options with your tribute summons. And also we're playing triple Mithra. Obviously, Mithra is like the best tribute for the Domain Monarchs, I think, because while it does like kind of die to max C, you still tribute summon twice, and you give them a useless 800 attack token. So against Burning Abyss a lot of the time, they have to wait a turn, because they have to or wait until their main phase 2 at least, because they have to crash a token before they can start like XYZing or whatever. But you should have Domain up, so it doesn't really matter if they start if they kill a token. But yeah, this card's really really powerful, and this is the card that allows you to do the Erebus and Mega Thestalos combo. Because if you have Domain, you can lower the level of the Thestalos, so you can tribute summon over a Mithra. So you can special a Mithra to your side of the field, and then tribute lower this level with Domain, and then tribute for Thestalos, rip a card out of their hand, and then tribute for Erebus and rip another card out of their hand. So overall, these cards are all really good. I definitely suggest running 3 Mithra. It's just the most consistent way to get tributes. Plus, it's just another vassal card. And last up for the monsters, we're playing 2 Maxi. So the reason why I'm not playing 3 Maxi in this build is because we're playing Domain, so a lot of decks can't play under Domain. So Maxi is pretty, like, not conditional, but it's subpar in a lot of matchups when you have Domain up. Against Burning Abyss, it's never more than an upstart when there's a Domain, unless you are pushing for game, and that's when this card's good. But also, it's not a combo card, and we want to go first. So this is only really there for going second, and this is kind of a combo deck, even though it's a pretty slow deck, and it's pretty normal summon reliant. But you still need this in case you go second. Yeah, I wouldn't cut these, but I have considered raising to a third one, but I never want to open 2 of this card. So that was it for monsters. Next, we're going to move on to spells. We're playing triple Domain. So this is definitely the worst way to run the Monarch deck. It's a really fun version. This is definitely worse than the extra deck Monarchs. Extra deck Monarchs just have like infinite plays because they can XYZ summon, and they're not floodgating your opponent. Because this dies to MST, or Twin Twister, but you have Mega Thestalos to rip those out of their hand with, and you have Erebus too. So I really this is the best way to play the Thestalos Turbo version is Domain, because you need to play 3 Thestalos to like resolve the combo. But just so you can open it. But yeah, this card it's necessary in this. So I like the lowering the level effect more than actually the Floodgate effect. But the Floodgate effect is obviously broken against a lot of matchups like Burning Abyss. So you get 3 Domain. And next up is 3 Pantheism. So obviously Pantheism is the D draw, and then it's the +1 because you banish it from the graveyard. So yeah, there's no reason not to run 3. I don't have to explain that. 3 Tenacity. We're rocking them rares, the max rarity Tenacities. Yeah, this is Spellbook Secrets. Don't have to explain this. 3 Stormforth. Obviously paired with Aether. It's like the most broken combo in Yu-Gi-Oh! Currently, in my opinion. Don't really have to explain this. It's like an infinitely better Soul Exchange. 1 return. I'm only playing 1 because we're playing 8 Mega Monarch. Excuse me. Yeah. We're playing 9 Mega Monarchs. And we're playing 1 Karaz. So, like, you can normally open 2 Monarchs. And this is always tutorable with Tenacity or Pantheism if they give it to you. But, yeah, you only need to play 1 of this card. I never want to see 2 because I'll just start looping my Tribute Summons and just adding more cards. And I can always add back with Erebus. Next up is 2 Twin Twister. It's just generic back row removal. Since we're only playing 1 return, because I never want to open multiple of this card, we lose really hard to strike. So, unless we have the return, obviously. And then, so yeah, Twin Twister's Twin Twister. It's good against a lot of decks. This deck really loses hard to Cliff Fort, too. Just because Rivalry of Warlords just demolishes it, because you can't really Tribute Summon. So yeah, we're playing 2 Twin Twister. And then 1 Foolish Burial. So, Foolish Burial essentially is any Monarch in your deck, or any banished spell card, because you Foolish for Erebus, and you can add it back by ditching a spell card, or a trap card. And, yeah, you can get, this helps you unbrick a lot of hands, or if you have a banished Pantheism that you need to get, you can Foolish for Idea and add it back. So overall, this card's really good. And then 1 Upstart for consistency. And then for your traps, we're playing 2 Prime. So this is the, excuse me, this is a Domain version. So we don't really need 3 Prime. It's mostly there just for the Tribute Summon. It's not as good because it's still a Dragon Ruler, but it's not a Dragon Ruler that does anything. In the extra deck version, this makes Pleiades and other rank 5s and stuff. So, but overall, I wouldn't go lower than 2, because if you get Cosmosia with 1 of them, it's essentially game. And then 1 Escalation. The reason why we're playing Escalation in this version is because you can do the combo where if you can set it up correctly, you can have Escalation set with the Thestalos combo. So they're playing with 4 cards already. And then on their main phase, if you have another Thestalos or another Erebus, you can rip another card out of their hand, which is really, really powerful. And I really enjoy this card. And I wouldn't recommend playing more than 1 because there's no reason to play 2 of the Monarch spells or traps. You either play 3 or 1, except for the Prime in some scenarios, like in this, because it's the Domain version, it's a little bit different. But playing 2 of this card, it's like you can't reveal 3 of it off Pantheism, and you can only really get it with Tenacity. You just like might draw it a little bit more, but yeah, that's why they're only playing 1. Obviously, there's no extra deck because it's a Domain Monarch, but I have some tokens because we're playing Mithra, obviously. But don't be a scumbag and like show this as your extra deck. This stays in the deck box all the time. It's because we are playing Mithra. We obviously don't need this many tokens, but I really like Pokemon cards. So moving on to the side deck, we're playing 3 Fog King. So Fog King is better in the Monarch Mirror than Mask Restrict, in the Domain version at least, because yeah, you can just summon this like a normal Monarch and have it be like 1600 attack. So overall, this card's really good. Next up is 3 Flying Sea. So I don't play Reaper in this deck because I can't put Dante on the extra, obviously. So this is what we side for Burning Abyss. And also we're siding 1 Mexi. This is also for Burning Abyss. Just overall, it's really good. 1 Landrope. So Landrope's for decks that also side Fog King. But also if they side Effect Negation, like Valor, this card's not bad because you can just set one of their monsters that you're having trouble with. And yeah, Tribute Summon over it. So we're still playing 1 of this. And then 1 Majesty's and 1 Vanities. So Majesty's Fiend's searchable with Return. But Vanity's Fiend's also just a blowout against a lot of decks. But I never want to see multiples of it, so I'm just playing 1. Both these cards are really good. And they're there for specific matchups, really. This is mostly for BA, and this is mostly for Pendulum. But yeah, both these cards are really good. And obviously Raigeki, this card's Raigeki. It's still really powerful. And then 1 Twin Twister. The last Twin Twister. And then we're also playing 3 System Down. For Cosmo. Cosmo is not that hard of a matchup, but you still want to play it just in case they make the Unbreakable board turn 1. So yeah, that was my Thestalos Turbo Monarch deck profile. I might do a combo video after just explaining exactly what we do, what this deck does. But overall, this has been Palmer from TYT Yugioh signing out.